Andrew Edwards, CEO of Technology Leaders, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about multi-channel analytics. You know, this year's Super Bowl was the third most viewed in history according to Nielsen, and that used to be the whole story. Now it's destined to be just another note in the ratings symphony orchestra. That's because this year it became evident to many of us that we're not totally watching TV when we're watching TV. Instead, we're probably fiddling with some wireless, colorful, flat-screen device hooked up to the cloud while keeping an eye on the game. To get a sense of how pervasive this is, a Yahoo Razorfish study says that 80% of TV watchers are multi-screening. This is the year when brands started putting real money behind interactive ads tied to a TV event, and the Super Bowl is really just the vanguard. Soon it will be normal for a big show and some littler ones to have apps and interactives to work with while watching. I mean, we've been all Facebooking and emailing while watching TV for a while now, and if you're an advertiser, you're going to call that a leaky boat because we're not paying attention to the ads. Now the brands will seek to keep us tuned into the messaging even while we're multi-screening, turning ads into interactive entertainment linked with TV content. The goal is brand immersion, and it's coming on fast. What's exciting about it from a marketing point of view is that interactive multi-screen content is trackable. Used properly, it can provide a goldmine of data and insight about customer behavior and customer preferences that can be applied to ad targeting, merchandising, even product development. This year, the Hulu Ad Zone player on the Super Bowl sent real-time commercials where voters could select favorites and also take a look at Ad Age's all-time greatest Super Bowl commercial picks. The Coca-Cola Company had their ingeniously imagined polar bears rooting for Giants or Patriots, contextual to what was going on the game. Doritos had a crowdsourced ad with prize winners, of course. If the multi-screen explosion says nothing else, it's telling us that a combination of convergent technologies plus the detailed audience measurement available via addressable devices is adding up to a seismic eruption in the world of advertising and customer relations. Because however much fun it might be to interact with old ads and cute bears, the brands would not spend on these if they weren't able to track the behavior within these interactives. They would just stick with heavy-hitting commercials. So measurability and multi-channel advertising have started to date one another seriously, but in some cases it seems like they've gone off and eloped. That's because certain companies like Buddy Media, Contingent, Involver, and WebTrends have figured out a way to create fairly basic widgets with fairly basic tracking. And because social media is the rock star of digital marketing right now, have managed to rapidly sell services and tools to companies that want to automate the creation of straightforward, targeted apps that drive interaction and sales. The paradigm is not different from when interactive multimedia was supposed to drive business, except it didn't have a distribution model back then. And with Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. as free PR tools, these modules now have the internet as a distribution model and social media as a PR dimension at almost no additional cost. That these cloud-supported modules are built to be tracked is an artifact of their timing in the marketplace. Everyone knows you don't spend on digital content without measurement. And instead of allowing themselves to be measured by a third party, the creators have built in their own measurement. So if there's synergy or magic, it's the built-in integration of creative plus measurement inside the same application. They are first-generation, self-measuring, interactive modules. So what do some of these modules look like? Well, They range from rather complex, animated, game-like experiences with tracking built in to more simple, single-purpose applets. One example is targeted at teenagers. They promise to clean up their room in the app, which automatically emails their parents. But that's tied to buying a product. What's going on is the teenager asks their parents to buy them something if they clean up their room via an interactive module. I guess you could call that a conversation facilitator. Another form they take is even simpler: polls, surveys, even just managing the look and feel of your Facebook page. One of the companies I mentioned earlier allows you to manage the look and feel of a Facebook page via CSS coding, and their offering has a library of about 50 apps that can be put onto a Facebook page. The offering is licensed via the cloud, and the customer, or the brand, is expected to manage the process with tech support from the company. Another of those companies has created a markup language called SML, or Social Markup Language, which facilitates the creation of apps and interactives that self-measure. These creation environments are usually fairly high-level, GUI-type interfaces that don't rely on heavy coding, and they're targeted more at creative types than programmers. These offerings as well are typically offered via the cloud. These apps will begin to transform the landscape of the web, especially in B2C environments. Again, the goal is brand and product immersion, where they can access your attention via your desktop, your touch screen, your mobile, your television, sometimes all at once. And the key to it all is measurability. Advertisers will gain much more granular understandings of their users by using these tools to get their customers to interact and allow themselves to be measured intrinsically. We have always lamented that the internet was never meant to be measured, but these apps are born to be measured, and that's probably the biggest paradigm shift of all.